the government has launched many initiatives through which it hopes to further develop Colombo. Particular care is being taken to improve the vitality of city's public open spaces. All residents of Colombo should have access to public areas not far from their homes in which they can relax, exercise, and interact with others freely. With this in mind, several projects were launched to improve the quality of existing urban spaces. The development of Independence Square is a good example. Established to commemorate Sri Lanka's independence from British rule in 1948, the square had become underutilized in recent years, with the removal of walls and fences that obstructed parts of it and the development of walkways and bicycle paths around it. Independence Square has now been transformed into a high-quality public space that the residents of Colombo very frequently utilize. Similar initiatives have been carried out near Namamavat in Colombo on the borders of the Dewan Nawaya and waters edging Batramulla and Thalawathugoda and Rampalavat. With the development of the Berele linear parks and the Badagana Park as well as several waterfront in various parts of the Metro Colombo area under the project being launched today, a lot of new public open spaces will also be created in the near future. This will bring back much of the people-friendly character that Colombo enjoyed back in the days when it enjoyed the reputation of being the garden city of the East. Another initiative that will help in this regard is the demolition of walls around public buildings, playgrounds and the public areas. Because of the war, a lot of walls were built up in all parts of the city. These walls kept many of Colombo's best architectural features hidden and obscured the abandoned natural greenery that is a hallmark of the city. With many of these walls having been removed, the city now has a much more relaxed and open atmosphere, and it has become possible to better appreciate its beauty. An interesting project being carried out in parallel to the Metro Colombo Urban Development Project is the Green Growth Project program, which is being funded through a grant from the World Bank. Under this program, steps will be taken to protect the marshy areas of the Metro Colombo region, enhance its biodiversity parks, reduce greenhouse gas emissions, and generally improve the eco-friendly nature of the city. The unique blend of cultures and the shared heritage of the various communities of this country is another feature that the government is keen to highlight during Colombo's urban development. There are a large number of very beautiful colonial era buildings all around the city, as well as many ancient temples, kovils, mosques and churches. It is important to highlight this heritage. A number of projects have been launched to do so. The recent renovation and reopening of the long neglected old Dutch hospital is a good example. While retaining the spirit of the original architecture, the hospital was rehabilitated and transformed into a public open space housing high-end shopping and restaurants facilities. The demand from the private sector for similar spaces is very high. As such, more projects of a similar nature have been launched. For example, the old Colombo Racecourse, whose buildings had originally been scheduled for demolition, is presently being rehabilitated. Its pavilions will be conserved and converted to suit new activities, while the area with the road frontage will be converted into an upmarket shopping complex. The racecourse itself will become an international standard rugby ground. Once this project is complete, it will further enhance the unique architectural history of the city. Apart from the development of the Metro Colombo region, the government also ambitious plans for the urban development of the rest of Sri Lanka. Several projects have already been launched by the Urban Development Authority to develop cities and towns in every district of the country. I'm proud to note that a lot of good work has already been done at many of these locations. I've also recently held discussions with the World Bank about launching a separate project similar to this one, which will be centered on secondary cities, including Anuradhapura, Mathura, Nuwara and Trincomalee. Such initiatives will accelerate the urban development throughout Sri Lanka and help uplift the quality of life of urban peoples. I'm hopeful that the international community, and especially the World Bank and other development agencies, will continue to grant their assistance to us at this crucial point in our nation's history, when we strive hard with determination to achieve economic development. As I conclude, I take this opportunity once again to thank all those involved in this project for their hard work and wish them every success in ensuring its swift and successful implementation. Thank you. Thank you very
much. From the very inception, we have had the steadfast support and cooperation from the World Bank team in drawing up the project plans, implementation schedules, and all the related activities. It is therefore very appropriate that we invite on stage Ms. Rosanna Nitti, Task Team Leader of World Bank Sri Lanka, to speak a few words.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests and speakers. So I would like to join, first of all, the Honorable Secretary of Defense and Urban Development, Mr. Gotabaya Rajapaksa, and the World Bank Country Director, Mrs. Diaritu Gai, in thanking you all for being with us today to celebrate together the launch of the Metro Colombo Urban Development Project. So thank you for being here today with us. So during the last 1.5 years, working with the Ministry of Defense and Urban Development to conceptualize and prepare the project, there was never any doubt in the minds of all of us involved in preparation that this was not your typical drainage and flood reduction project, but rather a very comprehensive, more comprehensive urban development project to benefit the whole metropolitan Colombo. In fact, as soon as we started working on flood reduction, it was clear that we were dealing with a complex challenge that could only be addressed at metropolitan level, involving many stakeholders and requiring many levels of coordination. During preparation, really the number of stakeholders kept growing while we worked on flood reduction. So, therefore, while addressing the pressing issue of flood reduction, the bank, like the government of Sri Lanka, always looked at this project not as a single sector infrastructure investment project, but rather as a more comprehensive urban project with a strong demonstrative value also. And as a matter of fact, we all have high expectations that Colombo will set new smart development standards and models to be replicated in other cities across Sri Lanka, in South Asia and around the world. Hence, the bank recognizes the Metro Colombo Urban Development Project, as an entry point to launch a number of innovative urban initiatives that we trust will contribute to make Colombo a well-recognized world-class capital city. So, for example, the flood reduction investment, as already been mentioned before, will be accompanied by a development of integrated flood management system using innovative tools like the flood risk assessment, introducing model management system for the conservation and the protection and monitoring of wetlands and retention areas, building on the potential recreational and environmental value of these assets. The project will finance the first comprehensive city development strategy for Metropolitan Colombo, a highly participatory and strategic planning process that will set the vision for the future development of the capital and its priorities. So eventually leading to the preparation of a new integrated master plan for Metro Colombo. The new business models to streamline the participation of private sector in urban development will also be developed and piloted in conjunction with the project. The project will also finance feasibility studies to address in a systematic and sustainable way critical metropolitan priorities like solid waste management, sewerage, urban transport. So the project will look beyond flood management per se, as mentioned also before. So finally, complementary to the Metro Colombo Urban Development Project and building on the expertise and experience capacity developed while preparing the project, the Sri Lanka Carbon Fund under the Ministry of Finance and Planning and the Ministry of Defense and Urban Development will join forces to develop the Colombo Green Growth Program. Through this initiative, Colombo will join top-class cities like Rio de Janeiro as being the second city in the world to develop and implement strategic and long-term low-carbon urban development programs that will enable the municipal and local authorities in the metropolitan areas to access carbon finance. Once in place, the Green Growth Program will promote low-carbon development in metropolitan Colombo, greatly contributing also to create a globally recognized city image and brand. So these and others to come are all innovative initiatives that will contribute to support Colombo to create its own and unique models for sustainable development, enabling all the relevant agencies to effectively coordinate and deliver infrastructure and services to citizens and visitors. So we all look forward to successful implementation of the Metro Colombo Urban Development Project with the Government of Sri Lanka, the Ministry of Defense and Urban Development, the Project Management Unit, the Project Implementation Agency and the Project Local Authority, and wish all of them the best in this new endeavor. So the World Bank will continue to remain a reliable partner for Sri Lanka as it proactively addresses its many urban challenges. And leverages the potential of its urban centers and economies as critical asset to compete internationally and as a fast-growing middle-income country. So I would like to conclude by thanking the many people and agencies who made this project a reality. In particular, I would like to join my previous speakers to thank the Honorable Secretary of Defense and Urban Development, Mr. Gotabaya Rajapaksa, for his leadership, guidance and continuous support during our long meetings and discussion. The Additional Secretary at the Ministry of Defense and Urban Development, Mr. Rohamsan Evirathan, for leading the project team with this innovative thinking and leadership. Ms. Diaretu Gai, Country Director of the World Bank, for all her support all along, creating the enabling environment for the bank team to move quickly and deliver a quality project, a complex project. The project task team at the World Bank, my team, and then the chairman and the director generals and technical team at SLLRDC and UDA, the mayors and the commissioner, technical team, too many of you to list you all. And also, we shouldn't forget that the preparation benefited from a number of grants the grant from the government of Italy, the Italian Cultural Heritage Trust Fund, that contributed at the preparation of the project, USAID, and GFDRR, the Global Facility for Disaster Risk Reduction and Recovery, the World Bank, the government of Japan. So for all of them made grant funds available to carry out essential studies and contribute to the project preparation. We all look forward to continue collaboration during implementation. So, you are too many to name you all, but thank you, and without you, we will not be here today, and we look forward to a successful implementation, continuing to work together with all of you. Thank you.
Objectives of the Metro Colombo Urban Development Project would not be a reality if not for the proficient and capable directive of Engineer Rohan Saniviratna. To invite Engineer Rohan Saniviratna, Project Director of the Metro Colombo Urban Development Project, to enlighten you on the key aspects of this project.
Very good morning to all of you. His Excellencies, Honorable Mayors, Secretary, Ministry of Defense and Urban Development, Country Director of the World Bank, and Senior Urban Specialist Rosanna, Chairman of Local Authorities, Secretaries of other ministries, Chief of Defense Staff, Service Commanders, Inspector General of Police, Chairman and Director General of Government Organizations, distinguished guests from the corporate sector, members of the Project Management Unit and from other implementing agencies, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, let me extend my sincere gratitude to all of you for having accepted our invitation and being here today for the launching of Metro Colombo Urban Development Project, jointly organized by the Ministry of Defense and Urban Development and the World Bank Sri Lanka office. Your presence today really encourages us and motivates us, as many of you are partners of this project and almost everybody else are stakeholders of this project. Today I have an overwhelming task to be the fourth speaker in the morning after a delivery of 3 excellent speeches on a same focused project area of Metro Colombo Urban Development Project. I will try to take you around the Metro Colombo Urban Development Project and to enlighten you on the details of the project now. Sri Lanka needs competitive and dynamic cities to reach its aspiration of becoming an upper middle income economy. With the end of 3 decades long terrorist conflict, Sri Lanka is now on a path of rapid urban generation. Colombo is the commercial and financial center of the country, and it is the international gateway to Sri Lanka and houses most of the country's important institutions and service facilities. Most of Sri Lanka's foreign trade passes through the Colombo port, and the Metro Colombo region will continue to generate much of the capital, human resources, technology and services needed for growth in the rest of the country. Sri Lanka needs to tap the competitive advantages of the Metro Colombo region to accelerate growth. Giving due concern to above aspects, the government of Sri Lanka has launched an ambitious program to realize the full economic potential of the Metro Colombo region and to transform Colombo into a modern world-class city. Having this in mind, the government of Sri Lanka took certain policy decisions, and in the year 2010, the urban development function was taken under the purview of His Excellency the President, and Secretary Defense was entrusted of leading the urban development sector in Sri Lanka. I can remember when that happened 2 years ago, Secretary Defence invited the experts of these special subject areas of urban development and had long discussions, long brainstorming sessions to identify the obstacles for rapid urban development in Metro Colombo region. On these discussions, we identified key obstacles for this urban rapid development. Some of them are frequent flooding in Metro Colombo region, inadequate infrastructure provision in the region, underserved settlements, lack of urban regeneration, inadequate city spaces for public, and inadequate institutional strength of local authorities. The frequent flooding has been a norm in the past, and in the year 2010, even the Parliament complex went underwater. And due to flooding, a lot of economic activities got stalled, and it has really impacted the economy of the country. And the people could not move, the traffic got congested, and the productivity is really affected. People could not go to their offices, and directly about 250,000 houses in the Metro Colombo region went underwater, and there had been really impact on their economic lifestyle. So there are direct impacts as well as indirect impacts. In fact, even the investors, they want flood-free Colombo to come and invest in Sri Lanka. And inadequate infrastructure facilities is another obstacle that we have identified. And there were inadequate road infrastructure, sewerage infrastructure, solid waste management, and many other infrastructure issues were not sufficient, not adequate to cater for the people in this Metro Colombo region. And about 2 years ago, if you walk through the payments of this city, you could not do that. You were walking on the carriageway, and almost all the payments were occupied by the vendors. There were no city spaces for the public, and due to that, the many accidents took place, and many of the traffic problems arose because of these problems. And also, there had not been serious urban regeneration happened in the past, because in Colombo there are many lands available which are really not fully utilized. As a matter of fact, there are 800 acres of lands in Colombo occupied by the underserved settlers, and with least productivity from those lands. Also, there are many other land areas which have not been really used for really integrated urban regeneration activities. So that also we have identified as an obstacle. And the underserved settlement itself, there are 70,000 underserved families living in this city of Colombo, and they are occupying, as I said earlier, 800 acres of land. So giving better housing for them and liberating land was a must at that time. And also we identified the inadequate institutional strength of local authorities. In the Metro Colombo region, there are key local authorities, Sri Jagadurpur Fort, Dehivala Mount Lemia, and the Colonna Urban Council. But the institutional strength of those